Hi, Mark Lucarrier again for reading from my new book, Homing. Welcome to my incredibly messy office. Um, Without further ado, let's get to reading. The central character arrives in Florida, and he visits his father who lives in a trailer park. And, well, it goes like this. I pull into Sunset Palms Park, where Dad had bought a double-wide trailer a year or so before retiring. He'd never had a chance to live there with my mother. She had died months before he realized his dream of moving down to Florida permanently. Sunset Palms is a network of gravel lanes lined with emaciated trees and struggling yellowed palms, all winding down to a central recreation area with a small games room and a tiny uninviting pool surrounded by faded shuffleboard courts. Gray-haired snowbirds inhabit the place, taking time off from dying to have cereal barbecues, congratulating themselves for having left snowy winters behind in New York, New Jersey, Minnesota, Quebec, or Manitoba. I've always thought of it as a sort of purgatory where you could apprentice to your impending demise. Even 3-meter high snowbanks and freezing gale force winds held more appeal to me than the slow burn of daily drudgery at Sunset Palms. I knock on the aluminum door of unit number 650, Azalea Lane. Not an eponymous flower in sight, by the way. Gerda, my father's girlfriend, greets me with, about goddamn time. I wince, yeah, nice to see you too. It smells of hamburger and pee in the darkened and stuffy trailer. I look beyond Gerda and I see the familiar silhouette of my father sitting in his easy chair staring straight ahead at the widescreen TV on which Judge Judy is smirking at some gormless defendant. I drop my bag and approach him. Hi, Dad. He turns very slowly, looks up at me with glaucous eyes, and says, Who the hell are you? Last time I'd seen him some months back, he still recognized me. The disease had gained more ground, the vicious dementia maggots eating away at his brain. He'd lost weight. His cheeks were sunken and bags of wrinkled skin hung limply from his upper arms. His pale legs looked withered. At the sight of them, I realized he wasn't wearing any trousers. Diapers, answered Gerda, her breath blowing rum-scented clouds of cigarette smoke in my face. He soils them so often that I don't bother putting pants on him anymore. At 70-something, Gerda is some 10 years younger than Dad, and she dresses in uncompromising bad taste, even by South Florida standards. Now, some southern states form the Bible Belt. Florida is the pastel cummerbund of America. Not only are her outfits unsuitable for a woman her age, they would have been unsuitable to anyone but a 6-year-old child. Today is no exception. She's wearing a tight halter top, exposing rolls of sallow adipose flesh, cascading in a succession of skin verandas down to the tight waistband of short shorts that make her upper thighs look like the trussed ends of giant salami sausages. All this in various shades of green and blue that clash with her fire engine red hair. She wears too much of the wrong makeup, including a shade of eyeshadow I'm sure is only available in dollar stores. And she applies ruby red lipstick with only the slightest concession to the outline of her lips, giving her mouth the less than enticing look of an open wound. Homing, my new novel. So listen, if you're interested in finding out more about homing, perhaps even how to purchase it, visit my website at www.mark, M-A-R-C, Luke, L-U-C, Carrier, C-A-R-R-I-E-R, all in one word, .com. Now let me give you a bit of a heads up. Next week, my Christmas special will be the last of the readings from Homing for this month. The end of December, probably beginning of January, I'll be reading from an unpublished novel that I wrote. And I've never submitted it to a publisher, so I'll be reading it in its entirety. It's very, very funny, at least in my opinion. And I'd be sort of counting on you to tell me if it's worth publishing. Is it worth mailing off to my publisher and asking him what he thinks or what she thinks? So it'll sort of be, you'll be the judge, as it were. So I'm looking forward to that, and I hope you are too. And I thank you for subscribing to my channel. And I'll see you next week. Might even wear my Santa Claus hat. I don't know. We'll see. So, bye-bye for now.